In the previous videos, we examined structure. We looked at writing systems that preserve meaning before sound. We examined royal names that describe function rather than personality, and we found patterns. If structure can survive time, then timelines should too, because history is not a collection of fragments. It is sequence, order, continuity. So today, we examine what happens when a timeline exists, but does not sit comfortably on the map we expect.
This is What Is It? Uncovering the Unknown.
According to ancient Chinese historical records, the Shia Dynasty is described as the first dynasty of China. It appears in multiple classical sources. Its kings are named. Their order is preserved. Their reign lengths are recorded. This matters because the Shia Dynasty was never treated as a legend by early historians. It was treated as history, a dynasty that ruled and then ended. Whether modern scholars debate its details does not erase one fact. The Shia Dynasty exists clearly in text. One detail appears again and again in the earliest accounts of the Shia Dynasty: water. Ancient texts describe a time of overwhelming floods, chaos covering the land, order broken, and the founding figure, Yu the Great, did not rise by conquest. He rose by control. He organized rivers. He carved channels. He transformed flooding into stability. Across early civilizations, this pattern is not unusual. Legitimacy often began not with armies, but with engineering. Control of water meant control of life. Keep that idea in mind. To find the connection, we must look behind the kings, at the men who actually ran the state. In Egypt, archaeologists found the tomb of Hemaka. He was not a pharaoh, he was the seal bearer, the chancellor who managed the treasury and the administration. Now look at the records of the Shia Dynasty. Behind the myths, we find Qi, the lord of millet, the official who managed agriculture and grain. One held the seal, the other held the seeds. Two civilizations, separated by distance, and yet both relied on figures like these to turn control into order. Don't just listen to the names, look at the shapes. On one side, the Egyptian symbols used to identify the seal bearer. On the other, the oracle bone script. Now, trace the elements. Here is the bee, and here, the same bee. Here is the seal, and here, the same seal. The twisted cord, the sickle, and the raised arms. 5 distinct elements, not one, not two. The same 5 selected together. No ancient text explains why these symbols were chosen, but the selection itself is precise and identical. Here is where the problem begins. Despite detailed textual records, the Shia Dynasty has left no confirmed archaeological footprint in modern China. No royal tombs clearly identified, no capital city beyond scholarly dispute, no inscriptions naming a Shia king. There are candidates. The heir-li-to culture is often proposed, but even today there is no consensus. Associated, possible. Related, not confirmed. So we are left with something deeply unsettling. It is like reading a detailed history of a great ancient empire, but digging where we expect to find it and finding almost nothing. A dynasty with names, but no ground. But why is the evidence so different? Why can we touch Hemaka's tomb, while Qi remains only in text? The answer may not be history. It may be geology. Egypt is a desert, and dryness preserves. More importantly, they built with stone. But the Yellow River civilization rose in wet floodplains. They did not build with stone. They built with rammed earth and wood. Over 4,000 years, stone stands still, but wood rots. Earth erodes, and rivers shift course, burying entire settlements under meters of silt. So the void in China may not mean nothing was there. It may simply mean the ground did not keep the record. Now look west. At roughly the same period in history, ancient Egypt enters its old kingdom. Here, the situation is different. We have cities, we have monuments, we have tombs, we have king lists supported by archaeology. And at the foundation of Egyptian civilization lies the same principle: water, the Nile, flood control, irrigation, order imposed on chaos. The first pharaoh, Narmer, is remembered not simply as a ruler, but as a unifier. Like you, the great, he stands at the boundary between myth and history. This does not mean they were the same person, but it does reveal a shared logic of early state formation. Finally, look at the rulers themselves. In early Egypt, before the oval cartouche, the pharaoh's name was never written freely. It was placed inside a rectangular facade called the Serek. The name lived inside the palace. Now, look east. In early Chinese ritual tradition, ancestral names were also enclosed, placed inside a sacred frame, often called the Ya shape. Different cultures, different languages, but the same instinct. Power was not exposed, it was contained. That does not mean these systems came from the same place, but it does suggest a shared way of thinking about authority. There is an assumption so basic that we rarely notice it. We assume ancient civilizations align neatly with modern geography, that ancient names belong exactly where today's borders sit. But ancient history did not work that way. Borders shifted, peoples moved, names changed, traditions traveled with the people who carried them. When we read ancient texts, we project them onto a modern map, but the map itself may be the wrong tool. So the question is not, where is the Shia dynasty? The deeper question is, where are we looking? If a dynasty exists clearly in text, but not where we expect it, if its kings are remembered, but its ground remains silent, if timelines align, but geography resists, then the evidence allows us to question one thing safely: not the past. It is the map. What we know is this: the texts are real, the names are preserved, the timelines exist. What may be wrong is the framework we use to interpret them. Some questions do not ask for immediate answers, they ask us to look again. So I'll leave you with this. What do you think we are missing? The evidence or the framework we use to read it?
This is What Is It? Uncovering the Unknown.
If the map is wrong, then the question is not only when history happened, but where. And if where is wrong, everything changes.